Hey everyone, Fidelis here for another training for you. I hope you've been well and excited for this new training that we have. Today is all about how to get the most out of business networking events. So, this is all about business networking basics and the do's and don'ts. So, as a new business owner, or perhaps you've been in business for many years, you will be familiar with the term business networking events. And I hope that you've been able to attend a few of these. And if not, you should be connecting and building your network. I would say at least once or twice a month. It would be good for you to go out there and join these business networking events. Actually, what they say is that we've been advised to go and join these networking events at least twice a week. That is a lot, right? But for me as a coach, I just encourage my clients at least twice a month would be really good to get yourself out there and meet new people that could potentially be business partners or potential clients for you, and just simply getting the word out there in regards to what it is that you're doing, and yeah, introducing your business to the network of people in your community. So lots of things to learn together today. These are three things that I'm going to be sharing with you. Number one, what is business networking and its key benefits? Number two, effective networking strategies that you can implement right now. And number three, networking etiquette, the do's and don'ts when it comes to the networking events that you attend. So we will go through those three things. So firstly, what is business networking? For some of you who are new to this term, business networking refers to the process of building and maintaining relationships with other individuals who can potentially help your business grow and provide opportunities or offer support. It involves actively connecting with people within and outside your industry to exchange information, ideas, and resources. So you can see how this could be super beneficial for you and for the people that are in the networking events. Firstly, because it's building that real connection. I know that over COVID, when we had the pandemic, we all had to go back to meeting on Zoom. And there's a lot of ways we can connect online. There are also networking events online, which you could attend, but nothing beats the in-person events, right? So it's so nice to be able to be outside, meeting new people in flesh and meeting them in person. So whilst now that we obviously can do that, I encourage you to go out there and enjoy the business networking events and meet new people. So here are a few benefits to attending these networking events. Number one, it gives you opportunities for growth. Networking opens doors to new business opportunities, partnerships, and collaborations that can lead to growth and expansion. So, if you want your business to grow, if you want to expand, business networking events are definitely for you. And I would again encourage you to at least schedule in these networking events in your calendar at least twice a month when you're meeting new people, because it opens up opportunities for growth. So for me personally, when I attend these networking events, look, you just never know who you're going to meet. And there were, for me, I found that there are a lot of opportunities to make new friends firstly, and with those new friends come new business opportunities and ideas and partnerships that could come from it. So 100%, it has happened to me many, many times, and I highly, highly recommend it. Another thing that you can get out of business networking events is access to resources. Of course, with those new connections, you also gain access to their resources and the tools that they have, also information they may have as well. So it provides access to resources such as information, advice, and referrals that can be crucial for solving business challenges and making informed decisions as well. So a good example of this for me would be, I remember going to a conference, and I know, being in a conference as well, you get an opportunity to meet people that also are also in the same kind of industry, the same, in alignment with your beliefs, and also, yeah, just the same kind of people going into the same conference, of course. So this particular one that I went to was a Christian business conference, and of course people who were attending were very similar to me, who loved faith and loved business all at the same time. And so we're all learning about that, and I met this beautiful lady, who has now become a really good friend of mine, and we have now ever since collaborated and partnered, over the years. And she's, yeah, a good friend of mine now. And it has opened up a lot of opportunities, for us together, win-win situations, win-win collaborations, but also it has, given me access to tools and resources, that she has access to, and vice versa. So it's opened up a lot of new, ways for us, to really, grow our business as well. So some example for you there. Another way, that it will benefit you is it will enhance your visibility and credibility. So going to those networking events, you get to introduce your business to some of the people that are in that room. So building a strong network enhances your visibility within your industry and establishes credibility as a knowledgeable and reliable professional. So when you're around, that crowd, the same people, you get to be, you get the opportunity to firstly introduce your business, introduce yourself. And again, you just never know who is going to be in that room. And also, it enhances your visibility, and, it showcases the amazing things that you're doing, within your work. Another, benefit is that you can have a career advancement as well. Networking can lead to jobs, perhaps career advancements and professional development through mentorship, recommendations, or learning from others as well. Lots of good things here, a lot more benefits here in this next page. Knowledge and ideas exchange. It facilitates the exchange of industry trends, best practices, and innovative ideas that can inspire and improve your business strategies. It also can give you support and guidance. Networking provides a support system of like-minded professionals who can offer emotional support, advice, and guidance during challenging times. For me, we call this sisterhood support, right? For Kingdom Woman entrepreneurs, it's so good to just be in the same room with, women that get it, that understands, about faith and business. And so you get that support and that guidance from that group, and that I think is invaluable. The third one on the list here is increased confidence. So with that, you've got sisterhood support, and you've got people, praying for you, cheering you on, championing you. For me, that increases my confidence, knowing that there's people around me that actually want to see me win and want to see me thrive. So it will increase confidence. Engaging in networking activities help boost your confidence in communicating your value proposition, pitching ideas, and presenting, your I can't see that, professionally. So you get to increase your confidence because you're with the right environment, the right people. So they will encourage you, and, it will, over time, when you go into these events, maybe for the very first ones, you'll feel a bit uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar, it's something new that you're trying. But over time, as you continue, joining these networking events, you're going to start building confidence in sharing about your business, introducing yourself, and communicating about what it is that you do. Okay, so what else? Personal development as well. Networking encourages um, continuous learning and personal growth by exposing you to diverse perspectives, skills, and experiences. I love this because you're going to get to meet people from all different, nationalities, backgrounds, experiences, different belief systems, even, and that just means, you get to, learn about those things as well. You get to learn about yourself, learn about others and their diverse perspectives, and that just builds on you as a person and your character as well. The next one is what I love the most as well, long lasting relationships, as again, an example of that. With the networking events that I attend, there's a few ladies that have been able to become real good friends with. And up until now, many years later, we're still collaborating and working together. So long lasting relationships, building genuine relationships through networking can lead to long term friendships, partnerships, and collaborations that extend beyond immediate business benefits. So, yeah, you just never know if you meet someone new there that, could really be a really good friend and, build long lasting relationship. The last one here is industry influence. So, active participation in industry networks can position you as an influential thought leader or expert in your field, opening doors to speaking engagements, media opportunities, or leadership roles. Again, you just never know who's going to be there when you're in the same kind of industry. Say, if you went to maybe a coaching conference or a coaching networking, you just never know who's in that same room that could possibly lead to another speaking engagement or a media opportunity, right? So that's why it is so important to go to these business networking events, and because there's a lot of benefits that you can get from it. Okay, statistics here. So, according to a survey by HubSpot, 85% of jobs are filled through networking. 78% of startups reported that networking is vital for entrepreneurial success. I love that. It is vital for entrepreneurial success. This is the sources from Forbes, 78%. Right. So we need to start networking. If you're new in business, even if you're a seasoned entrepreneur, we need to continue to build our network. Business owners who prioritize networking are 10 times more likely to grow their business. How cool is that? 72% of professionals say that their networking efforts have helped them gain new clients and customers. I can attest to that as well. Many times I have gained new clients through networking events. 92% of people trust recommendations from people they know. And this is another thing you can do through business networking events. As you gain new connections, you get to maybe work with them a little bit and, spend time with them. You can actually ask for recommendations, and it goes a very long way. Small businesses that actively network generate 2 times more revenue than those that don't, right? 84% of people trust online reviews and personal recommendations more than any other form of advertising. So it is all about people. It is all about connection and networking. So no wonder many of us say, at least twice a week going out there to meeting new people, because, it makes a big difference in the growth of your business. And of course, I'm going to be sharing with you some biblical perspective on this. And here's 3 scriptures for you that I'd like to share. Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. This verse underscores the idea that interactions with others through networking, mentoring, and collaboration can lead to personal and professional growth. So we need to be with, people that have the same value, the same, I guess the same drive as well for life and business, because we will sharpen one another when we're with the right community. Another one in Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up, but pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. So, the scriptures tell us that, it's so much better to be with another person, to be in a group. Two are better than one. So it's a kingdom principle. I always say that if you look through the scriptures, there is a pattern there that, God always sends people out in twos. Everything always comes out in twos. So there is a purpose for that. We're being created to connect, we're being created to be in community. And so you'll find that all throughout the scriptures. The last one is in 1 Corinthians 12:12-27. This is actually quite long. So please take a moment to read this. But this passage describes the church as a body composed of many parts, each with a unique function, but interconnected, interdependent. It illustrates how collaboration and unity within a community or team are essential for achieving common goals and fulfilling purposes. So we need each other. Basically, we all have our own gifts, talents, things that we do, and we have abilities to do. We're gifted, individually we have our own gifts. And so putting that together in one, and being able to be part of a community or a networking group is so important, because we need each other. Okay. All right. So just a few types of networking events. So it's not just a one kind or type of networking event. There are different types. So there's conferences and seminars. So we run conferences annually for Kingdom Women entrepreneurs. There's a type of networking there, or a seminar or a workshop, perhaps. Industry trade shows. So these could be like, maybe a business trade show of some sort. It could be like, say, for example, you're in the coffee industry, there's a coffee trade show. Or like if you're in the food industry, there's like, the food and wine show, things like that. That's still a networking opportunity as well. There's business breakfasts and luncheons that you could go to, and networking mixes and social events are good as well. So these are some types of networking events. So you're not stuck with just the one type. So you can have fun in going to some of these events. By the way, just going back to this, when you are investing in these networking events, they, for me, is part of growing my business. So I actually think of this as part of my marketing budget. Have a think about that, and please talk to your accountant about it, because when I do buy tickets to conferences, seminars, or any of these networking events, I put it under marketing, because I am firstly learning and meeting new people. It's building my business. So it is an essential part of my business growth. So I add that into my marketing expense, so which I can then claim back on tax. So please talk to your accountant about this. But yeah, that's something that I do. And I feel like, if you talk to your accountant about it, just make sure that it is in alignment with either education or training, or perhaps marketing. You can put it in any of those expense titles for when you do your tax as well. So just a thought to put it out there that you can, put that under expenses. All right, so here's some effective networking strategies now. Now that we've covered all of that, the statistics, the biblical principles, and some of the benefits. Now let's talk about the networking strategies that you can implement. So before the event, here's some of the things that you could do. So effective networking involves more than just attending events. It requires strategic planning and genuine engagement. Here are some proven strategies to enhance your networking efforts. So it's not just showing up and being there and and that's it. You attend, you say hi to everybody, and you go home, and then that's it. There are actually actual things that you need to do before the event, during the event, and even after the event, to make sure that you are getting the most out of these events. So here's the before the event. Number one, set clear goals. Define what you hope to achieve from the networking event, whether it's gaining new clients, seeking mentorship, or learning industry trends. Having clear objectives keep you focused. So you're going in there with an intention, right? It could simply be that your intention is, oh, I just want to make new friends, I want to make new connections and contacts. That's great. But it needs to be clear that if that is the case, you need to have that intention coming into the room, because what happens is then you're focused and you know exactly what you need to do. Um, to be able to achieve that, you're not coming in not knowing what am I supposed to do here. You actually have a goal, which is really important. So whether it be gaining new clients, seeking mentorship, or learning industry trends, you're in there with an intention. Secondly, you need to research the attendees if you can, but for me, I would say research the host here. So both research the host, who is hosting this, research about them, what they're doing, what they're all about. And then also the attendees, if possible, who is going to be there, who's going to be speaking, right? So prior to the event, research speakers, panelists, and their attendees, understand their backgrounds, interests, and contributions to facilitate meaningful conversations. So you want to make sure that, hey, are the people that are going to be there in alignment with what I'm doing anyway? Is this going to be a good fit for me and my business? Are there going to be potential collaborations here? So you do that by doing your research first. You don't want to be coming into the event going, actually, this is not for me, because you didn't do your research. So you've got to do your research first. Okay, and the third one is prepare your elevator pitch. So are you guys familiar with elevator pitch? Basically, it's crafting a concise introduction that highlights your skills, expertise, and what sets you apart. So you can practice this. You practice delivering it confidently and naturally. So you will find that when you go into any of these events, if it's a small networking event, everyone gets a turn where they share, hey, what is it that you do? Tell us a bit more about you. You have this elevator pitch, where you introduce yourself and tell them exactly what it is that you do in a very short span of time. You only get a small window of time. That's why I'm believing it's called elevator pitch, because you're in the elevator and you've only got that that moment from when you're at the one level in the building to another. It's very quick, so it's called your elevator pitch. So it's got to be quick and concise. So do you have an elevator pitch? I'll probably do another training on this one, but basically, you introducing yourself. For example, I would say, hi, my name is Fidelis Cruz. I am a Christian life and business mentor, and I'm the founder of Kingdom Woman Entrepreneurs. And I love helping women rise up in leadership in all aspects of their lives to whether launch, build, and scale their business, something like that. So, what would it be for you? So, work on your elevator pitch and be confident in sharing that. And the more that you do it, it just sticks, and you just say the same thing again and again and again when you go to these events, which is great. Awesome. So those are things that you could do before the event. Now, during the event, the way to get the most out of the networking events is, number one, be approachable. I know it can be a bit silly sometimes. You're like, well, I'm going to these networking events. Of course, I'm going to be approachable. Of course, I'm going to be ready to engage and connect. But you'll be surprised. There are some people who are maybe that is their intention, but they're not aware of their body language or the way they're coming across. So this is something that we need to work on as well and be more intentional about. So being more approachable. So wearing a smile, smile it doesn't take much of an effort, right? Just smile, maintain open body language, and approach others with friendly demeanor. You're standing there, ready to have a conversation, ready to hear what they have to say, and just being very intentional about allowing people to come in and say hello to you, and not having any close kind of body language, like crossing your arms or looking at your phone and looking away and looking very busy. You want to be ready to receive a person to come in and have a chat with you. So you can ask open-ended questions and actively listening and responding to them as well. The second one here is focus on quality and not quantity. So instead of collecting as many business cards as possible, Aim to establish a few meaningful connections. So invest time in building rapport and understanding mutual interest. So, it depends on how big the networking event is, right? You will find people going around with their business cards and, giving it to every single person. And, here's my card, but not really stopping to have a real deep conversation with them about what others are doing, right? So I want to encourage you, it's not about quantity, it's the quality of conversations that you have, because that will stick with that person and they are more likely to remember you when you stop and actually have a really meaningful conversation with them. So build rapport by having deeper conversation, and not just surface level and here's my card. Another thing is, these days we don't see many people having these cards anyway. It's good to have the cards ready. Yes, I agree, go and get your cards if you need to. But for me, I find it super hard to remember people's faces, and I guess it might be a personal what do you call it, a preference as well. I actually get my phone and ask them, could I follow you on Instagram or Facebook? Are you in any of the social media platforms? And I honestly do that because I can't remember people's faces, or names. Like, oh, maybe I'm more better with the faces, but not the name. So if I see your face, I remember your face, but I wouldn't remember your name, or vice versa. I need to put a face to the name, if that makes sense. And the only way for me to do that is when I see them on my feed and I go, oh, that's Sarah. And this is what Sarah looks like, and this is what Sarah does. And it reminds me. So I don't know if that's something that you like to do, but I find that that's also very effective in a sense that you're already connected on socials already, and you don't just have the card and, they never really go, oh, this is her and I'll look her up now. It's like on the spot, get their details rather than being on a card. So that's something to think about there for you. Focus on quality, not quantity. Take your time with these conversations. See if you can exchange details. And if you have a card, then give them the card. But yeah, take it to the next level here if you can. All right. The third one is offer value. Be generous with your knowledge, resources, and connections, and provide helpful insights or solutions to challenge others may be facing. So sometimes we can go into these events going, okay, what's in it for me? This is my intention. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pitch. I'm going to maybe try to sell something. I'm going to try to do this, do that. But I encourage you to go in, instead of coming from a place of wanting to get, I want you to think about, how can I give? How can I offer value? And you will get the most out of the event when you do this, because you are showing up with your generous self. You are literally going to go out there going, how can I add value here? How can I share my knowledge, add my resources, and maybe my insights as well? And in this way, people will be more engaged with you and go, oh my goodness, like, she's so knowledgeable, she's giving, she's not she's so generous, she's not keeping it to herself, she's actually adding value here. And I think that will leave a lasting impression as well with the people that you meet. And it will just, I feel like it just makes it so much easier for them to reach out to you as well, because they know that you're not holding back on these resources and tools that you have, but you're so open to sharing that with them. Okay, so I feel like you'll get the most out of these events when you offer value. The fourth one is seeking common ground. Look for shared interests or experiences that can strengthen your connection. Genuine relationships are often built on commonalities and shared values. So, of course, with Kingdom Woman Entrepreneurs, we have our Christian business networking. So obviously we have the same values, that, you can try to find, more personalized connections with each other, perhaps music, I don't know, art, movies, I don't know, anything. And I think this will all come naturally through conversation. And as you will find the right people that you would connect with and just jive with quite easily. So get the most out of the event by making sure that you're ticking these points here. All right, so that was during the event. The next one is after the event. After you've had so much fun and meeting new people, engaging, making new friends, and now exchanging details. after the event, after you've rested and had a bit of a time for yourself, you want to now do the following things. Number one is follow up promptly. Send personalized follow-up emails or LinkedIn message within a few days of the event. So reference specific topics or discussions to reinforce the connection. So for me, I don't really like to do the emails, though some people might like to do emails. I go straight for Instagram and Facebook because you remember I would have connected then. So I would say, lovely to connect here. I thank you so much for sharing about this topic, this topic, this topic. I'm so glad we got connected. How has your week been? So something with another question on top to keep that conversation going. So it's basically a personalized message saying, lovely to meet you. Love that we spoke about such and such. How was your week? So something like that. So it's a follow-up, and it will also continue to build on your online relationship as well. So that's what you do after the event, okay? Many people don't do this. They just go into the networking events and then that's it. You never hear from them anymore. But imagine if you did this, the many possibilities of connecting with new people that you meet every single time. It's amazing. All right. Secondly, maintain relationship. So nurture your network by staying in touch regularly, offer congratulations on milestones, share relevant articles, or invite them for coffee to continue building rapport. So that is totally up to you. If you feel like I'm really connected to this person, we have so many things in common, and there is really a potential, friendship or partnership here, maintain that, stay in touch, and be engaged with their post online as well. Give and receive referrals. So actively refer your connections to others who may benefit from their services. And likewise, ask for referrals when appropriate, demonstrating mutual support. So it needs to be reciprocal. It needs to go, it has to be a cycle of, the give and take, of course. For me, I love to connect people, like we call it divine connection, right? It's a God thing. God connects people, and I just love being a bridge. So if you are able to see that this person is gifted in this specific area and another person is like, hey, I think there's a potential partnership here, I'd love to connect you, would that be okay? So if you do that, you're sowing seeds, you're adding value, and one of these days it will return to you as well. They will of course refer you and add value to you as well. So that's a third one. All right. Fourth, stay engaged online. Use social media platforms to engage with your network, share content, comment on posts, participate in discussions, and maintain visibility and relevance. So this all goes in together. It all ties in together. It really is all about building that engagement, building the connection, and not just leaving it for the actual event, but even after the event. All right. So those those are some of the things that we do before the event, during the event, and after event. And now let's talk about networking etiquette. All right. So the next part is the do's and don'ts. So some tips here for me, as I've been doing networking for many years, been hosted a lot of networking events at Kingdom Woman Entrepreneurs, and have attended some outside of Kingdom Woman as well. So I've seen some different networking events. So here are some do's and don'ts. Firstly, dress appropriately. So dress professionally and according to the event's dress code. Your appearance contributes to making a positive first impression. So first impressions last. I know it is like, oh, that is so sad that we are like judging people according to what they see the first couple of seconds, or the first 30 seconds really. We form an opinion about somebody in the first 30 seconds, and I know it's a sad thing, but it is the real thing. This is the world that we live in. We do have an opinion about someone according to what we see for the first 30 seconds. So as a personal stylist, I've been a certified personal stylist many years ago. I always teach on this, and it is so true. We are firstly representing God as as a child of God, we are representing ourselves, our family, when we show up in these events. And so, why not dress appropriately, dress professionally, and because you're representing yourself. So make sure you are dressing right for these events, because it is making that first impression for you. Okay, just have a think about people that have come into events. You're like, oh, did she even think about dressing up? Or like, right? So we need to do the same. We need to honor the event, honor the person hosting, and honor yourself to really prepare and dress to the occasion. Second, exchange contact information. So please do that. We already shared that earlier on. Do exchange contact information. Don't feel like, oh, I don't really want to share my details. That for me is a bit funny, because you've gone into this networking event, but then you're not willing to be sharing your contact details. So that makes me feel like there's a bit of a like a missing link here, right? So of course you're going to be ready to exchange information. So just be ready with that you're coming in to exchange. There's going to be a moment where someone's going to ask you, hey, can we exchange details? It will happen. So be ready for that, because I have come into events where people are like, oh, I don't really want to share some information right now. I'm just here to kind of watch and observe. So that for me is I don't know, it's uh, maybe a red flag, that why are you here when it is a networking event but you're not networking. So just something to think about. So do exchange contact information. Third one, attend networking groups regularly. So please do that. We've already shared that before, because it's consistency. When you do go to these networking events, please go to the same one at least twice, because you are building that connection. You'll find that it's sometimes the same people in that group, and you want to build that consistency, and then building that connection. So I want to encourage you, if you do go to a networking event, go to at least twice, maybe 3 times, into that same group, so that it's consistent. They will be familiar with your face, familiar with you, and it builds that deeper connection before you go into the next one. Okay. Fourth is prepare to stay back a little. This is another good thing. So please do stay back a little if you can, because people tend to leave early and they want, they've got things to do. But if you can just build a margin in between your next event, it just helps you a little bit more to engage, because there's some people that stay back, and I feel like the best conversations happen at the very, very end. And of course, you can take some more photos, and you can maybe grab another coffee and sit down and have continue that conversation further. So I think that's nice to do. So these are the do's. And there's some more. Introduce yourself to the host. So as you're walking in, make sure you're introducing yourself to the host. But even after, I encourage you, why don't you stop for a moment and just thank the host for organizing? It takes a lot of work and effort to organize these events. So by going up to them and just saying, thank you so much for the effort of organizing this, it will mean a lot to them. It will go a long way. And that just also leaves an impression to the host. And hey, you never know, if the host is organizing things like having featured speakers on there, you could be invited. I know that's not the point, and that's not the intention, to be going up and thanking the host, but you just never know that with this first step of connecting and saying thank you and showing gratitude could be a start of a really good friendship, and then later on could lead to other opportunities as well. All right. So secondly, arrive before start time. Honor and respect people's time by being there a little bit earlier. You also don't want to be walking in when everyone has already started. That would feel so bad, right? So please be there on time. You've got to find parking. You've got to think about, if you're going public transport, just having it all planned out and organized takes away the stress of coming in late. And you don't want to be coming in like, oh, sorry, and like all flustered. So really plan ahead so that you will arrive before the start time. Also, be aware of your body language. And remember, we spoke about this earlier, having an open body language to show you are engaging in conversation. So, things like, making eye contact, that you're listening to them, you're not crossing your arms, and and you haven't got your shoulders up so high like you're tense. Just be chilled, relax, and have your hand gestures as well, open hand gestures. You're nodding, you're hearing them, you're understanding them, you're mirroring them. Even you could be leaning forward, because you're really listening in intently, and maybe you're tilting your head and going yes. So these are some of the non-verbal cues, non-verbal encouragement that you can give them. And I think that goes a long way as well. And of course, some verbal ones. Yes, okay, yeah, okay, cool. Like you're agreeing with them, or you're showing them that you're understanding and you're listening. So these are some of the things that you need to do, so that it shows that you're engaging and you're part of that conversation. All right, now let's go with the don'ts. So being disengaged. So don't be disengaged. Avoid distractions such as constantly checking your phone, looking around the room when someone is speaking to you. You can see this, right? You as a person would not want anyone, when you're talking to them and they're not listening, you can just tell, right? You wouldn't want that. So don't do it. Don't do that as well. So that's the don't. Don't have a negative attitude. So don't complain or speak negatively about others. Maintain a positive attitude, because this is essential for building good relationships. So don't complain about, oh, this is so bad, oh, the food is horrible, or yes, there is a time and place for that, when you want to maybe do a debrief later. But at that point, when you're there, please be positive. And it also helps the group as well to remain positive and get the most out of the event. We don't want to start off with negativity, and having a really bad attitude towards things, and speaking negatively about others, or even things that are happening. Oh, we're so late, things are not working out. Let's just refrain from that, because we don't want to spread that negative vibe in the event. Third one is don't forgetting names. Don't forget names. Try not to. Sometimes we don't have the name badges. See if you can do that if you're hosting an event. But make an effort. I know it's hard sometimes, but make an effort to remember and correctly use people's names. It shows respect and personal interest. So another don't, inappropriate behavior. Avoid overly personal questions. We don't want to ask like, hey, so how much do you make? Things like that. So, um, you know, uh, can I get this thing for free? Like on the spot. Like, you don't want to be asking those overly personal questions and making inappropriate jokes or engaging in behavior that could be seen as unprofessional. So keep it professional, and keep those other questions for later. Or maybe not. So these are some of the don'ts. Some more, we're nearly there. Being overly aggressive. So don't push your agenda too hard or come across as too eager to sell something. This can be off-putting. So, trying to manipulate or kind of push your agenda into the event, where you start to kind of be aggressive in trying to sell something, trying to sell your product, or my product is best, or my event is best, come to my event, or come and do this with me. This is not the place for that. Okay, so that's please don't do that, and don't interrupt as well. Avoid interrupting others while they are speaking. This shows a lack of respect and can disrupt the flow of conversation. So don't interrupt. I know we all know this. Third one is talking too much about yourself. Just be very self-aware. I know we're so passionate, we're so excited about what we do, but keep in mind that there are other people who also want to be sharing as well. So focus on listening and showing interest in others, rather than dominating the conversation with your own stories and achievements. Yes, we want to hear it, but we don't want to hear too too long or too much of it, because obviously time restrictions, but also just being respectful of others' time as well. So yeah, just be self-aware of that, and know that you can maybe cut your time a little bit. Don't be unprepared. So don't show up without a clear idea of what you want to achieve, or without doing some research on the people you might meet on the day as well. All right. So, what else? Post event opportunities, mastering business networking events. Just like any skill, mastering business networking takes time and practice. If you're attending your first networking event, it may feel a bit uncomfortable, but remember that the benefits are well worth the effort. The opportunities and lasting relationships it can develop are invaluable. So, the more events you attend, the more proficient you will become in networking. It's fun, you'll enjoy it, and I think having learned all of these things, the do's and don'ts, the benefits, and preparing for it, I think we will really get the most out of these events. You're paying for these events, you want to get the most out of it. You want to make sure that you are making the connections that you're meant to have, right? So I will have an action step for you, which is commit to attending at least 2 networking events this month. So would you schedule that in, write it in your journal, or maybe even after this training, go and have a look. And there is this website called meetup.com. You can have a look at some events on there, or even just your local events in your area would be really cool. So check events, commit to attending at least 2 networking events this month. Okay, so enjoy. That's it from me. I look forward to hearing about your experiences at the networking events, and hopefully I shall see you at the next one. So thank you guys for being here with me. All the very best. Bye.